Hello guys, welcome to Bugs in Code. The problem that I'm going to explain today is dominant pairs. But before that, if you are new here and a person who likes stuff related to coding, then you can subscribe the channel so that you get notified when I push a new video. Okay, so let's get started. Here is the problem statement and it says that you are given an array of integers of size n where n being even. You have to calculate the number of dominant pairs ij. Okay, where a pair is called dominant if for each value of I in the first half and for each value of j in the second half, the given condition is true. Okay, let me explain this. We are given an array and the size of this array is even. Okay, now for I'm going to divide this array into two equal halves. So according to the problem, for each index I in the first half and for each index j in the second half, the pair I comma j is called a dominant pair if array of I is greater than equal to 5 cross array of j. This is what the problem says. Okay, now our task is to give the count of such dominant pairs in the array. Okay, now an example is given here. Let me explain the example. So the example says that we have an array of size 4 and in this array we have elements 10, 2, 2 and 1. Okay, now I'm going to write the indices as well, like I have 0, 1, 2, 3. It says that 0 based indexing is used. Okay, so if my I is here and my j is here, so you can see that the condition is true, like 10 is greater than equal to 5 cross 2. So I can say that 0 comma 2 is one of the dominant pairs that I have. Okay, now let's move j here. So again you can see that I have 10 is greater than 5 cross 1. Okay, so the condition is true for 0 comma 3 as well. So I have two dominant pairs. Is there any other dominant pair? So I can't use this 2 because this 2 is a part of first half and I have to take one element from the first half and one from the second half. So you can see that we have only two dominant pairs. So 2 is going to be the output here. Okay, fine. Now I hope the problem statement is clear to you. Let's talk about the solution. Okay, so the problem says that we have an array and we have to return the count of dominant pairs. Okay, so first task is to divide the array into two halves, and after that for each for each I in the first half and for each j in the second half, our task is to check the condition if array of I is greater than equal to uh, array of j cross 5, right? And if this condition is true, in that case I will have a dominant pair, so I will increase the count of my answer which is going to store. Okay, so even I can write the approach. It is going to be something like I can try out all the possible pairs. So the code will look like, okay, the code will look let me make the font smaller. So the code will look like for I equal to 0, I smaller than n by 2, I plus plus. This is how we check the first half of the array. Okay, now I'm going to iterate over the second half again. J is going to be equal to n by 2, j is smaller than n and j plus plus. Okay, now inside this loop I'm going to check one condition, which is if my array of I is greater than equal to 5 cross array of j. In that case I will have a dominant pair ij, so I'm going to increase my answer. Okay, what is the answer? Answer is going to be initially 0 and it is going to give me the count of all the dominant pairs that I have, and at last I'm simply going to return the answer. Okay, so I will return answer. This is how we can write the brute force approach. I hope the idea is clear to you. So what is the time complexity of this approach? Since for the first loop you can see that I'm running a loop n by 2 times. This is for the first half, and inside that loop I'm running one more loop which is again O of n by 2 times. Okay, so since this is like a nesting of loops, so the total complexity is going to be n by 2 cross n by 2, which is n square by 4, and this complexity is similar to big O of n square. Okay, now this is not something which is going to be accepted. So because the required time complexity is O of big O of n log n. Okay, so let's see what optimizations we can do. This is about the brute force. Let's talk about the optimal approach. Okay, so for this I'm going to take an example. Let me take an example. So I will have an array of size 8 and the elements are going to be 15, 10, 14, 12. After that I have 5, 3, 4 and 2. Okay, so we have this array, and these are the first four elements that we have, and these are the last four elements that we have, because we have to divide the array into two halves. And after that, for I will have two pointers, I and j, first in the first half and j in the second half. Okay, now suppose that currently I is at this position. So currently I is at this position and j is currently pointing to this element. Okay, so is the condition true? Let's check the condition. The condition says that array of I should be greater than equal to 5 cross array of j. Okay, so is this condition true for this 10? 10 is greater than equal to 5 cross 2. So yes, this condition is true. Now you can see that the condition is true. So if the condition is true, then I can replace this 10 with any element greater than 10 here. So the condition is going to remain true. Like for this 12, condition is going to be true again, because I need a greater element or equal element. Okay, after that for 14 and 15 as well. So why to check this elements separately? I can avoid checking these elements. I can simply add these to my answer because the condition is going to be true. Okay, so this gives me an idea that I can have all these elements in the sorted manner. So I will write all these elements as 10, 12, 14 and 15. Now if I'm at this position I, and I have total n by 2 elements, and the condition is true for this particular element, so I know that condition is going to be true for all the elements from n by 2 to I, like for these elements. So I can simply add to my answer. Answer will be increased by n by 2 minus I. I hope this makes sense to you. Okay, now when the condition is true, so for this element, like I have 5, 3, 4 and 2 and 4. Okay, so if I'm at this position j and the condition is true, so like this is the condition, so I will increase the value of j in order to check if the condition is true for this particular value of j, then the condition is true for a greater value of j or not. So if the condition is true, then again I'm going to add to my answer. I hope it is clear. Like if I'm at this position 2, so I will move to an element which is greater than equal to 2, like for this 3. So I will check the condition is true or not for 3. Okay, and if the condition is again true for 3, so I will move to 4. This is how I will move. So I will do j plus plus. This is the case when the condition is not true. But the question is when the like this is the case when condition is true. But the question is what okay, so let me write what we have figured out till now. So I'm going to write inside this. Till now we have figured out that if the condition is true, if array of I is greater than equal to array of j cross 5. This was the condition. If this condition is true, so we can simply do one thing. We can increase our answer. So answer plus equals to n by 2 minus I, and j is going to increase. Okay, so let me remove this. The question is when the condition is not true. When the condition is not true. Okay, so let me explain this. When the condition is not true, like this was the condition, and when the condition is not true, so I will try uh, okay, I will try to increase this value because I want a greater or equal value. So if the condition is not true, let's say for 9, so I will try to increase this value like 10 or greater, 10, 11, 12. I can try out all any value which is greater than the current value. So how to get the greater value? Like this is the sorted manner, and if I'm at this position I, so how to get the greater value? I can simply do I plus plus. This is going to give me greater value because this is the sorted order and elements on the right are greater. Okay, so I will write here I plus plus. This is what we have to do in order to solve this problem. So let me write the steps. Let me write the steps. The idea is very simple and clear. The first thing that I will do is like sort first half of the array. First half of the array. Okay, after that sort second half of the array. Okay, and when I have sorted first half and second half, so I will start with I equals to 0 first half and j equals to n by 2. This is for second half. Okay, right. Now I can check the condition while my I is inside the bounds, like while I is smaller than n by 2, I is in the first half and j is smaller than n. Okay, so in this loop I can check the conditions that I have written here. I can check these two conditions, okay, and at last I will have my answer in the variable answer. So I need a answer variable which is equal to 0, and at last I am simply going to return answer. Now I hope the approach is clear to you. I'm just going to show you the code now. So let me show you the code. On the left hand side I have the Java code, and on the right hand side I have the Python code, but I will start with the C++ code first. Okay, now you can see that these are the line where we are performing the sorting on first half and second half. So we can pass the like indices here, from which index to which index I want the sorting. Okay, so similarly, the similar case with the C++ language as well, we can like sort the vector for a given range. Okay, after that I'm initializing my I and j here. Okay, and this is the main logic that we have. While my I is smaller than n by 2 and j is smaller than n, inside that I'm going to check these conditions. Okay, I have already explained what these conditions means. Okay, and at last I'm going to return the answer. The same thing you can see here. Okay, now let me show you the code, Python code. For the Python code, I was not able to like sort the same list for a given range. So I have extracted two Python lists from the same list, the first half and the second half. Okay, after that I'm individually sorting the first half and second half, and here I'm running the same loop. I hope it is also clear to you. So this is all about this problem. Thank you.